Hi there, good evening and welcome to Prog Monster. My name's Murph, I'm the host of this show. So today we're doing a look back at a album from a European band, Germany specifically, that is considered a prog rock band. There's lots on this album to like, and I'm going to go by it blow by blow, but to start off, this is the album by Eloy. It's called Colors. Nice album cover. So basically what you get is a booklet with this edition of it, which is a re-edition. Nice little booklet with it. Unfortunately, most of the booklet is in German, but there are some parts that are useful. There's a picture of the band in here, some plink, I think, or maybe I'm wrong. Actually, there's a little small picture of the band right there. And of course the album cover and the backside are kind of one and the same. Anyways, this band is a progressive rock band that came out in the 70s. They never really made it huge here in North America, at least not initially anyways. And but they're a very enjoyable band. I just was turned on to them at the same time I was turned on to Nectar, and I've been listening to them about the same amount of time, both bands. I like them a little bit less than Nectar, but I like Nectar quite a bit. So anyways, let's just talk about the stats here a bit. Okay, the stats, this was released in 1980. I looked around and couldn't find out the actual month. I'm sure somebody might be able to put that down if they happen to be able to find it. The album's about 39 and a half minutes in length. It was recorded at Horus Sound Studio in... Oh, wow. I can't even read that. Anyways, it was recorded at Horus Sound Studio. It's on EMI label and Electrola. Produced by Frank Borman and Eloy. So the band, in this case, I'm going to try to get their names right. Some of them are German and might be a little bit difficult, but I'll try my best. Frank Borman is the lead vocalist and acoustic guitar player on this album. Klaus Peter Madzol, I'm not sure if I got that right, is the bass and does vocals as well. Hans Arcona is the electric and acoustic guitars. Hans Foberth is the keyboardist, and he's dominant on this album. And Jim McGilvery, who of course isn't German, is dominant on drums and percussion. There's two females that do a vocal part and the very first song right at the beginning, called Edna and Sabine. It doesn't really say what their last names are or anything more about them other than they do the lead vocal part, which is angelic. It's on the song Horizons. Okay, so I'm going to just discuss the group in general. First, they're a prog band. A pretty keyboard dominated album. Lots of different keyboards, piano, sounds like organ. There's a flute. It sounds like a flute somewhere in one of the songs, but I think it's probably a keyboard generated type of noise, even though it does have that fluty sound to it, because there's nobody listed here as playing the flute. So unless there's a flutist on here who they just didn't mention. Anyways, flautist, sorry for you flute players. I didn't mean to screw that up. Anyways, I'm just going to go over some of the songs. The other thing about the album is it's very melodic. There's a lot of similar type of riffing in all the songs. They like that constant throughout a lot of their songs. The bass and the drums are pretty rhythmatic in this album, and a little bit more forward, or perhaps the guitar is a little bit further back so that they kind of sound like they're about even in this album. Anyways, so we're going to start with Horizons, which was the first track on the album. This is the one with the angelical voice. The two females do this on kind of an angelical voice that goes throughout the length of the song. Another deep keyboard dominated riff song. Again, very melodic. Illumination, which is the number 2 track, is one of my two favorite, along with Silhouettes. Those are my two favorite songs on the album. It has a keyboard intro, and then Borman's vocals for the first time, because he's not on the first song. and then you hear there's a bass, guitar, drum kind of. They all participate in this methodic melody that goes on throughout the entire length of the song. There's a few different things on the song. Nothing really all that different from a lot of other bands. There's a Hammond organ on this particular song as well, and the guitar is a little bit more beefy than some of the other songs. Giant, which is the third track on the song, has an eerie organ, spacey kind of launch to the song. And then the song is also very bass and guitar melodic and just drills along. Again, all these songs, they are melodic and there's a rhythm in the background and they all move along. They're not at a fast pace. There's no really speed type thing to it. It's just a melodic noise and it sounds actually quite good. I like it. Impressions, which is the next song on the album, is the one with the flute-like solo. I listened to it a few times, and normally when I'm first about to do the album, I will re-listen to it again, and I can't figure out if it sounds like a flute to me, but it could be a computer or synthesizer generated flute. Not sure, because there's nobody listed again as playing this instrument on the album. Again, another rhythmic kind of methodic kind of bass, drums, guitar that goes throughout the entire length of the song. The next song is a little bit different. It starts out with this kind of, I'm just going to move my notes here so it's easier for me to see them. It's called Child Migration, and it starts out with this kind of sticks sounding like keyboard part at the very beginning of the song, and then it goes into a heavy guitar riff, and that starts it, and it continues throughout the length of the song after the initial sticks keyboard sound in it. The bass, drums, and piano in this case create this kind of heavy methodic rhythm that goes on throughout the song. If you like that kind of thing, if you like that rhythmic kind of progressive type thing, this is a very good group for that. And then there's also a piano solo kind of somewhere in the middle of the song that kind of breaks up the monotony just a bit. Okay, the next song is Gallery, another keyboard dominated riff song. A lot of these songs are very dominated by keyboards. Keyboards are very forward on this group. There's some actually very catchy hooks on this particular song, more than there is on a lot of the other ones. It's got a methodic kind of rhythmal section again, similar to all the other songs in that way. There is a guitar solo somewhere in the middle of the song, and the keyboards and the guitar are soloing together, creating a kind of strong instrumentation part here. Okay, Silhouettes, which is quite possibly my favorite song on the album. I really like this song. It's a song that drew me to them initially, and I think it's because it's a little bit different than some of the other songs. But it has a piano keyboard intro at the beginning, and then the bass and the drums and other parts of the guitar also start the melodic type rhythm section that goes on in most of the songs. The guitar solo is about halfway through the song. It's a pretty good guitar solo. He's no Eddie Van Halen, but he's pretty solid guitar player. And then it ends with the last track on the album, which is a instrumental. There's no vocals. It's just a kind of a guitar and organ combine, and they combine to kind of make this eerie kind of feeling. Actually, the song kind of reminds me a bit of Los Endos, although I don't think it has I don't think it has a Genesis sound to it, but it just reminds me of that song. I guess it's just the way it just kind of moves along at a very mild and methodic pace right to the end, and it's great. And there are 2 additional tracks on the album on this particular one. This particular copy of it, which is a remastered copy, I believe it has 2 tracks, which are Wings of Vision, which is not on the album anywhere, and Silhouettes, which is a kind of a, I guess it's a stripped down version of the song. It's that last part is like 3.5 minutes, where the original Silhouettes is about 7 minutes. Most of the songs on here are between 4 and 7 minutes long. There's 8 tracks, so I mean, it's a pretty good album. I chose it as my first Eloy album because it was recommended, and I can highly recommend the album if you like prog music, and especially keyboard-dominated prog music. This is definitely a group that you should listen to. I don't think they're quite as instrumentally, musically gifted as they are in Nectar, but the guy's pretty good at putting together a pretty decent album, and the artwork on the album is very good. So anyways, there you have it. Eloy's Colors from 1980, and they have quite a bit of catalog. This was like their eighth studio album, so they have quite a bit before and quite a bit after. So I'm looking forward to listening to some other stuff by them as well. And there you have it. That's the video for today. Eloy's Colors, look back at classic rock album. Coming up later today or tomorrow will be my top 10 Led Zeppelin songs, my top 10 favorite Led Zeppelin songs. Probably that will be released tomorrow. And I hope you have enjoyed this video, because if you have, then it encourages me to make more of them. Anyway, so if you like it in the likes below, and subscribe if you want me to do more of this kind of content. So I just want you to have a good evening. My name is Murph. Bye.